discovery of DNA, and as we learn more and more about the cell, it's like that Weekend at Bernie's movie where some people, but the minority of people are still hanging on to this rotting, dying corpse of evolution, and they're bringing it around like that movie Weekend at Bernie's. Go ahead, Evan, take it. I'll let you jump.
Well, it is kind of that way. It's an old idea that was formulated by people whose worldview was bent a particular way. And it's been carried on to and clung to, and modern science has simply given evolutionists, or atheists, a way of justifying or attempting to explain away their worldview. And they claim that the creationist does the same thing with an invisible God. The thing is that science has caught up to that idea, and now science points to the idea that there is a powerful God that created it. But yes, it is, and I thought one of the things that you pointed out was very important was that the general public has become aware of the controversy, especially regarding how evolutionism and atheism are tied together. And that is reflected, as you said, in the polls. And it's because atheism must have evolution. Otherwise, that's to believe in creation. And that's what they wish to deny, of course. So, and it's true, of course, that there are professors in universities that are taking a lot of flack from their student bodies for espousing things that are of evolution. And you'll have college students today, quite many actually, who will say, ask a professor in the middle of a class, well, sir, may I ask you a question? If that's true, how is it that such and such and such and such? And the professor will almost certainly become intimidated by it and aggravated, and you're told to shut up and be quiet and learn what's in the book, because that's the truth, and you're wrong. You're not a PhD.
Yeah, and Evan, remember that one story you and I read where the one professor was really harassing the student and told him he needs to read, what was it, The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins? They harassed the student so much he ended up committing suicide. Remember that article?
Yeah. That was horrible. Yes, that was terrible. That's a horrible example, of course, an extreme case, but nonetheless, it quite illustrates that from that worldview is born such things. So, but you know what? You mentioned the Big Bang, and I think it's important to point out right away that science has caught up with it and told us that there wasn't a Big Bang, because we can't explain it. And the scientific method requires us to know that there are reasons for which we put forth a hypothesis. In other words, if that weren't so, I could say, pink monkeys drive Cadillacs around the moon, and that's a fact. But if you can't test it and see that it's really there, true or not, then you can't say it's there. There's nothing in science that allows you to do it. And that is what the Big Bang is. It's something that science doesn't allow for us to propose it happened, because there's no evidence for it, and there are many things that tell us it could not have happened. So the very beginning of the whole evolution concept cannot be true if there was not such a thing as a Big Bang, or if nature is incapable of creating and recreating itself endlessly, or if nature can explain itself. You see, the explanation for a thing does not exist in that thing. You must go outside of it to find the explanation for it. That's true of all things, and it's true for the universe. So whatever created this universe cannot be explained by the universe. You can't find it in the universe. It's bigger than, more powerful than, more capable than whatever it created or caused it. And that is true of all things. For example, if you roll a pool ball down a pool table and hit another ball, mathematically it should move exactly the same distance, right? But no, it's not going to, because the pool ball is already slowed because of friction with the table and air. So you have an imperfect cause and effect. So we can't measure the cause, is what I'm trying to say. But there was a cause. And the evolutionist must try to get around the fact that this cause was person, you see, which philosophy has pointed to as being true now. And to do that, they have to espouse that nature is its own creator. And it's really fallen dead. It's fallen dead. There's nothing that supports that.
I'm telling you, it's like that movie Derek was talking about, Weekend at Bernie's. I want to play a short clip for you guys. You're absolutely right. Even some public school teachers are standing up in front of the class and saying, look, I don't believe in evolution. It does not follow the scientific method. Now, I recently did a show. This is a very short clip And by the way, have your pins ready because Derek, you're on this clip also, and Derek's going to give you a website on this clip. It'll play automatically, D-Man. And listen to what these are two people that called into our radio show sharing with us how even their public government-run state school teachers said, look, I don't believe evolution is accurate. Check this out, and then we'll get back and we'll talk about that. But this is phenomenal, and God bless teachers like that are willing to not lie to the students. They're willing to basically say, hey, it doesn't follow the scientific method. Listen to this. Amazing.
Well, you said something about being taught about, or saying
oh yeah, evolution. How they don't even bring up God, but yet throughout the whole Bible. So if we all agree, it conflicts.
I want you guys to check this out. My biology teacher in 10th grade. So this was like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't remember, but
why is Jimbo so silent? Anyway, go ahead.
She was a Christian, I know she was, and she got up in front of the class when evolution, all that stuff was she said we were going to get ready to start teaching about it. She got up in front of the class, and she said, I want you guys to know that I do not believe in evolution, but I'm required by the law to teach it. And
wow, good for her to say that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty much exactly what my 9th grade biology teacher said when he was teaching evolution. I could tell the guy was a really conservative, probably a Christian. But
God bless teachers like that.
I mean, it's just, why be required by law to teach something that isn't proven? And
well, you guys know, we all agree they're indoctrinating. It's indoctrination.
It's a tactic of the devil is using to put lies into people's mind. I mean, if it can be proven as certified fact, then why not teach it? But you can't go back and test stuff like that. Especially, the whole thing with even the Big Bang. You can't test the Big Bang. You can't, say, well, there's this Big Bang. And, I mean, why call that science? Why teach that in schools? If they're complaining about us teaching a story out of the book of the Bible, out of Genesis, then...
Well, here's some good news. Yeah. Here's some excellent news. I'm sorry, Joey. The excellent news is, do you know, and I think all of us on the line were in the United States of America, over 50%, the majority of people, I believe last time it was 53%, 53% of people in the United States, get this, it's going to sting when I type this in for the evolutionists, 53% believe God created man. So what happens, you go on godless YouTube, it's like an evolutionist mecca, you'd get the feeling that everyone believes in the lie of evolution. But when they do actual studies right here in the United States, the evolutionists, listen, they're losing. The majority of people in the United States say, well, I don't believe that evolution, is true. I believe that God created man. So it is very good news, but it's because of people like you guys and other people that are actually speaking it. I believe that words can sway people they can sway them towards evil, or they could sway them towards good. I happen to want to preach good and not the evil of evolution. They should call it evolution.
All right, as we're on evolution, the site I was going to plug, if you go to my page at dmanforchrist.com, within my description, I have a link to 101 scientific facts of the Bible. Now, I'm pasting that in the chat room now, and that actually goes through a lot of the Bible and how science has actually backed the Bible.
Why do you guys think, what do you think is the biggest factor in why evolution is failing big time in the public eye?
I personally think there's more than one cause. I think that the Spirit of God is moving in the people of the world, for one thing. And I also think that that science has caught up to it so much that people who know the truth have carried it on, have held it like a flag, a banner. These creationist philosophers and scientists and authors and filmmakers and these other people, they've clung to the truth, and they've learned that science has caught up with this lie, and philosophy have. And If it weren't for their work, much of the general public of this world would not. These people are heroes in a way, because much of the world would not be aware, and the general public would not have something to turn to and see that what they're being told is not true. If it weren't for the work, the hard work of these people who do this, many times out of our own pocket for thousands and thousands of dollars, and if it weren't for their work, and like William Adamski attempting to get his work through peer review, but they won't even read it at sometimes, and when they do, it never gets an official review. This kind of a thing, because it's a shutout. And the public has seen it, and because we're largely Christian-based is also a factor. The atheist will say, oh, well, you're Christian already, so that's why you believe. No, it's because we've seen that science has caught up to the old idea. And the general public has waken up to it, like you said.